That was so accurate. Hit him with the chat as well. Oh my god. Oh god. Down to science. Well, you know, they've been making progression series together for like 4 years. I should have said he can quite well. I heard Gage make this joke 1,000 times. 1 trillion jokes, 1 trillion hands. Farfa's peak character development. Mini game is just a checkpoint, a cutscene, an actual self of engine versus engine. Stop! There's too many engines! He goes too many engines! I wouldn't read seriously into a, Farfa viewer dual commentary, right? But, listen, as they say, everything's Habakiri. Everything is Habakiri. Jesse was Shadow Clone. F, Nardo, Julie, Francisco, Jesse. wait, I gotta zoom in on this. It's really not that funny. It's haha, minor spelling mistake. But you know, it's wait, how do I get this? My sheer X. Anyway, Jesse looking kind of Asian. What is he cooking? Floodgates in New York like Guns in America. I don't know how you'd fix it. Wanted to. Well, in Twitch chat put it. No way to prevent this. Game where this regularly happens. 3 years for Marine Says stuff to be added. What, Dragon and Striker auto add to Secret Pack? What is it? Secret Pack, Essence of Flora and Ocean. Oh, is this Master? I thought it was second. Okay. How to obtain Cosmic Red packs are expired. Wait, is there just no Marine Says pack? Marine Says stuff to be added. The Marine Says pack is one of the cheapest ones I recall. Marine Says is actually a pretty good budget deck, but it's apparently to update the Marine Says pack. Not updated. Cards. They like set a precedent with trying to do this, right? Like that's been a thing for ages. Don't update packs with new cards. I want you to buy the new card, new pack rather. Then they retrospectively added, but I guess Marine Says was forever to retrospectively. But this is a precedent they set, which is really annoying, by the way. Like if an archetype gets new support, like they're just not in the old pack. You kind of don't give a fuck about players. Well, I mean, that's. Farmer doesn't receive a microphone in MasterChef. A microphone? You think my power is limited by a microphone? What did table 500 become?
Build a website. The bricks.
Am I getting ads? I have YouTube Premium.
Okay.
I'm watching a tech profile. Does anyone have the Legacy Pack only for the brother? It's on my YouTube. Frick. What a disgusting profile. Then don't eat profile. Protein. 7 days ago? I haven't been to the gym in like 2 years. So, I don't know if this is like a crazy concept for you to understand, but things that are good for you is like, yeah, sometimes you ever have like Brussels sprouts? I don't know how anyone eats Brussels sprouts. Disgusting. It's like eating a stun grenade. They're nasty. Like, ass. But you know, if someone prepares it for you, you want to be rude. Like some of them, try and force yourself. I don't eat grass, sorry. I don't expect an average Yu-Gi-Oh player to know what anything iron or vitamins like. But for most of us who have healthy, balanced diets, there are some green things in our food. Think of it. Let me try and help you. You eat more than just pasta and chicken and candy. Okay? Pretend it's a spell card. Okay? Next time you eat, like. $1. Like, following this is annoying. I had a dumb idea. I made it. A legendary ocean. It's not good campus. After an impressive showing once in Anaheim, our eyes the labyrinth butler is right back to serving lovely labyrinth of the Silver Castle. This cosplay was excellent. Right, what's the one? Anaheim Street. That was. It's so accurate. The full box stuff, making the rat thing. Cosplayers are insane. I don't know how they do it. Can I just like buy X cosplay like first free? I think we're doing like a Halloween thing tomorrow. I forgot to order my outfit. I was gonna be mad at me. I had a whole week. A halberd actually. Hey, it's a polar and a hammer and a staff, whatever. Everyone's making themselves. Yeah, but cosplay is awesome. Look into it, you realize, wait a minute, this is just like fancy, right? Like, you want to be a you just need to be like an artisan of like books. Like, that sounds way more interesting than like I'm gonna dress up as epic characters and like code. How do I get killer? Like, they don't just print them in Amazon warehouse. The first clip was trained by Gage personally. This is oh my dude, I swear to God, you people like every white person. You see something out in the wild and what is Gage? Listen.
Don't even love me.
Thought of like Gage? Regards to just some guy saying fat booty bitches, you thought of Gage? Name one white person, man. Unlocked me. I missed out on the game. Apparently, Gage passed out. Good for them. Huh? Oh wait, this isn't about our game. This is just some random thing out in the wild about some other person. I guess. Yeah, no, that's probably good. That's true. There is probably another person on the planet that is called Gage. The one card Charter is back. Shatter a card. Shatter a card deals damage to enemy minions. The joke here that you're misspelling are vote 0 likes. Alright. Funniest Farfa Redditor. Price. Go plus 6? Okay, wait. Guardian 8 Charity. This skill's second and third effects once per deck contains more than 4 non-white, non-wits. Cannot normal or special, it's things special. That Guardian Angel always running. The normal or Guardian Angel during the normal set, and Guardian Angel Zone can be normaled without tributing. You can reveal Luster Dragon 2, Luster Dragon, or Guardian Angel from your hand, and add a Guardian Angel or Dragon normal from deck to your hand, and then send a Dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you can show Guardian Angel 4 and add 1 Graceful Charity and 1 Stamping Destruction from outside your deck to your hand, and then you can play a Luster Dragon 2 and a Luster Dragon up to 2 cards total from your deck. You know the face down the best position. It's battle position gets paid. Complex than modern.
No, it's not. Just read.
This isn't like a card. This isn't card. It's just like get a spreadsheet and it's following an arbitrary pipeline. The writer told you to do it. I'm like, what is? Like, theoretically, we're supposed to be entry level. You know, the fun little quick, fast, simple like you get that you can train to like something. Just 30 lines of nonsense. The replay for this. Apparently, it's an FTK. Guardian Bone FTK. Parity and a Stamping Destruction and Special Cluster Dragons. They flip them. White Elephant's Gift. Void Spam. A draw, bro. Dragon Fire. Dragon Fire. Why does it do 800? Is it damage in this game nerfed by 50%? Steel Observatory. 8 cards. So they just didn't update the old cards? Nerf burn? I just made the coating of the card. And it just causes burn effects to and damage. But I forgot they have to consciously update cards.
Why would you program it like that? Holy shit.
Alright! Awesome! Duel Links is a game. Good job. Links added animated cards. Nice. It's a little bit AI though. It could be AI vibe.
No, it's just live 2D. Ever heard of it? You're non-gacha playing
I think it's kind of looks cool.
simpleton.
About AI to After Effects, I can tell the motion. Like, you know, having a card on your field, and it would like constantly do like a moving animation like this. I mean, dog. Want to, Konami, if you could just hire your, 6-year-old ad software intern and pay them like $30 per year, you know how much million animated like an animated oh my god. How to like make more money. Actually could be about like something in how it's perceived. Why am I saying I have to bring up I still like Link up. I'll put this in Marva, I hate you. Stop posting! Stop posting! Get this guy off the internet! What use of building skills surprise present? What? Can I activate it? Can I activate it? This is oh, isn't that build that requires Wait!
Right.
Doesn't get it!
It was nerve-wracking, and the girls were pissed when they replied. Still, no one got that. Okay, alright, actually got me. It's actually got Sam. It's got Sam.
It's Martha's birthday. I don't think I would love you if I do without it.
Happy birthday. Happy to
I'll tell you who said happy birthday.
my mom, my sister, my dad, my wife, of course. Outside of my immediate family, Josh. I actually think roll F happy birthday. Doug?
Forster?
Okay, well, he said happy, that's why I couldn't find it. He said happy birthday, not happy birthday.
Who says that?
So Doug and Gage, that's it. Not Joseph. That's so funny. Oh, here we go. That's the welcome back to another Walking Challenge. With Ross, our missing Padre, Kage. There's a lot of way he has a emergency right now. Not so much for a nice little comfy podcast. Here with Doug and Joe. Discussed how well have eight on this list got a whole array of different spells, basketballs, etc. And we're going to talk about how they have eight, not necessarily from how we're going to talk about how, like, from a design perspective, they're like, healthy for the game, and they're fun to play with. That's like, it's already like, I'll let you guys pick some funny ones, but I guess I'm just like set the time. Something I probably all going to be on common sense. Let's do the awful history max, as max, well, milk in the sun, not doing very well. I will say, just a caveat, defense max, but the max like, it was a pretty, like, good card. Not like turn ending, not game ending,
Yeah.
until buy that card, like, sometimes it was primarily, like, yeah, it was only for big combo deck. Decks were not like that. Back in the day, you know, if you max seed someone, got a draw, and then, like, set some traps and taps, and, like, couldn't OT them, well, now you just, like, done nothing. Having cards was better. A lot of situations.
There's still an argument in board formats like Tengu about like the place of this card. It's the modern understanding of the card, we know that it's like really powerful, and that modern understanding is happening at the time that people are realizing historically that combo decks are a lot better than they were ever represented in the sense. So you think Maxi would be like way more powerful once people look at these retro formats, but it's not. Like a lot of these formats, you still do sided, like assumption about it. To me, the point where Maxi like capital T mandatory maxing deck until it stopped was right after Duelist Alliance. Like the concept of a combo deck changed. Like every deck from then on out had the capacity to kill you uninterrupted. And I think Stellar Knight strikes me as the last deck that play around Maxi in a really way. And since then, you know, it just has read. I would. For that reason, I guess I would say it's aged really well.
Was it played? I'm sorry, not to like. Was it played Alliance format? I feel like
It was slide decked a little bit.
yeah, like not like
No,
that.
sorry. I think people
I would
should
say
have been
2017.
playing it more. I think people should have been playing it more in this alliance. Like the in general had kind of a tough time migrating from 2000 styles of decks to a post a shadow. And once that change happened, they were like, oh, this is what a combo deck does. Then Maxi. I would definitely 16. Like, there's no
Yeah, I would say
argument that
2016
Maxi has to be everywhere. But like Incom was right. Like people were playing it against like totally awesome decks. Like sure, Maxi was crazy good then.
Is that
Like yeah. But it was played. It was played way early before then too. I'll look up.
Yeah.
Actually, was released, I believe, Storm of Ragnarok, which was end of 2011 or 2012.
Yeah,
So
it was specifically designed to beat the 6-Sam deck. Right?
So when you consider the fact that it was not, Staple also went until 2017, 2018.
No, certainly before that. Auto was by
2016.
Alright, well, where do we put this one?
in terms of like, oh, it's crazy. It's like the greatest card of all time.
Yeah, I guess it like depends on how you want to like define it. When I'm saying like aging well as well. My perspective has to be, but for a time period, it did age. So it's sort of in the middle ground, isn't it?
Well, no, it depending on well, it's good or well.
No, we're not talking about power. We're not talking about power. We're talking about like.
I don't think this design has it.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying for a while, almost half a decade. Oh, right, from 2011 to 2016. That's 5 years. Card being pretty well top 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This ended up being a hard one. I thought we'd do the easy version, actually.
So I think the design is not aged well. Because now but it originally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Box out combo decks now just
Pretty much. Even
Yeah.
okay. That's a good. The purpose of the card was to box out 6-Sam. Super successful forever. But also
correlation doesn't.
yeah, it's not accomplishing like big sexy combo deck. Just give it a sexy combo deck in a second. Their opponent starts their turn. That's not sexy card.
But I think for a bit, working against like why decks that were
But even the very kind of struggle to like what it was intended to be. Given some examples of like stuff, terrible again, right? Like filament and stuff like that. But then you have like macro decks. And we had better options. I'm not really sure.
I just want to kind of delve them in like subs. We've got tops and ads.
yeah, I think
Are still is the color might be that's an obvious, frustrating way it is.
you're just saying it's
Not gonna whine about not gonna whine about a generator. I will say definitely frustrating. Card that was designed to go to second floor actually just automatically strategy that fits on a token for like an annoying ass mechanic reason. You know what I mean? Like I think that's
just
like
so.
I don't know.
I don't think that's true at all. It came up a ton. Enter, yeah, where you would just like have the token and be like, oops, I guess I lose.
If you baited out the Griffin, it was just game over.
Well, I think from a design standpoint, even as an 8, well, in terms of it's a downside that it was. It's like, okay, you can get like super efficient, strong remove card,
Right.
but won't win that turn because there's no battle phase. I feel like they've done that with Dark Ruler now as well. I think those are interesting trade-offs.
Where I like, it's actually kind of interesting to Dark Ruler over here because you started this entire thing by being like, he punishes decks that go wide in one direction, right? But that card already exists. Dark Ruler no more. That card punishes decks that go wide in the monster direction, right? But Evil Match punishes everybody. Have layered attraction in back row. You got to go down to one back row, right? It's one of those cards that, like, every time it's playable, I am frustrated by its existence, and there's, like, these weird unintended consequences.
I like
and
evenly
more often
matched.
than not, it just sucks. So, like, for me, that's a card that hasn't been, right? It's, like, got very narrow application. Every time it has
It gives you a very solid
frustrating
reason
auto-winner to take advantage of
when playing in a format where it's prevalent to not overcommit. And that's a meaningful decision in a game where you're always allowed to
That's what it sounds like.
do
Sound
everything.
off, chat. Do you play decks that haven't gotten every deck can get even?
Right, but what I'm describing is that if I go to a tournament, 5 out of 8 rounds, that means 5 out of 8 of my opponents at least are playing even. Therefore,
What deck would you
filter guys.
right?
Oh.
So you see what I'm saying? If I got even a lot, that means a lot of people playing.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think for the reason Joseph mentioned,
I think evenly should be
like, it was strong and stuff,
relevant
but
in every
it was
format.
this idea where
There needs to be more going second cards
and it's
that
not
are like
fun
that.
to play either.
That's
So,
true.
I don't know.
That's the other thing. It's like with Lightning Storm, with Dark Ruler no more. There are mechanisms by which you can create like layer interactions.
I call it the Mirror Force theorem.
One of those
A
cards.
card
Like,
so powerful and so prevalent,
you have a way to stop this.
you have no choice but to always put it into consideration.
I feel like I have to do both. This card is fucking horrible. What do you want me to say? I guess I'll give you the example that I always give when I talk about Malicious. Y'all remember Malicious on the ban list for 10,000 years, and finally it got released.
It results in more meaningful decisions and
Hero as an archetype
more interactive game states. More, not varied, but yeah, interactive game states.
And that's because since Malicious was some sort of boogeyman, every single card that has printed card, like Velocity, Ash Blossom 5, the Shufflers, every single thing that happened in the last 5 years. So, I don't know. It's one of the worst things cards of all.
Malicious was so strong back in the day. For synchros and after that it was just wait to level 6 on the like 5.
Yeah, no one did that. No one did.
So like when it was released, it was like Destiny draw and then summon a monarch or whatever, or even just chump block with it, and then like heroes get released fast away, summon a level 8 sync. Yep. It's like nowadays every deck has someone's for sure. Theoretically, you could recycle it, or you could just play like that just summons a bunch of monsters that do stuff on the board.
It should be a really, like a condemnation of Malicious. A new Destiny hero in Denier that lets you Malicious 5 times, and it's still bad.
Very funny because you guys are describing all this. This is exactly why I love the Malicious. Anyway, let's move on. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, I guess it's... I'm gonna put this up right here. I think Ash is a fantastic card. It's perfect air enough, but
Indeed.
versatile
One of my favorite cards of all time.
relevant in and out of every time ever. Never absurd against like Gratitude. I like that it stops the ball hand traps and they issue other
topic. I like Ash. Very, very cool.
I think there's an argument for now. I think the number one format in which you don't play Ash Blossom is, of course, its release format, which is the funniest thing ever.
That's
Like,
yeah.
the greatest card of all time released in one format in the next decade where it was okay. I think there are a couple of formats where you consider Ash, like some of the tier limit formats, and some of the more modern formats. Now it is hard to argue about cutting Ash ever, just application army. I do, for the first time
You
in
know,
years, find myself
they
bored
really should have
out of it
designed.
sometimes. But honestly,
They really
that's
should have
which is
printed
fine.
the
That's the whole point,
Moltarmi
right?
can't
Like,
be
yes,
freaking
cards
responded
like
to, man.
you have to think about if you're gonna play it or not. But it's always gonna find a side. So I totally, you're right.
Like Ash does. Oh yeah, no, I
Mm.
think it's like a low all reactors have like a second, God forbid. There's a lot of older formats where like if Ash just top deck, like I think about Ash and Nekroz format. Nekroz would have been so dominant. Ash something. I think it's hard to both auto with 90% of the time and not powered. That a card can hard. Like when you say that MST is overpowered when everyone was, it's like one of those cards that like it just this at 3 card you have to factor in
Hello
when you're
there,
building
people.
when you're, and I think that's okay.
I think hilariously,
I will say
MST is a perfect comparison.
I think that we may look back at this video in about 5 years and be like, smoke, thinking, if Ash continues down its current trajectory, because right now, a lot more utility is pulled by the grave than it does as like a mechanism to stop your opponent's plays. Because like decks can play through Ash so efficiently, really it's number one. Oh yeah, but really it's number one application. It's possible we look at this like we look at Pokemon in like 5 years. Now, say Ash.
It does make sense. Kind of weird. I'll pick, but why is on this one?
This sort of like harkens back to, you want to imagine it, like all of the, what did we call them back in the day? Where every deck would play like combo, like this like set of cards that would just play everything. Even combo decks up until like 20, probably. Just play safe trap cards. Despite the fact when you can set combos, does it something?
Yeah, I mean, I think these cards had a really at a time when there wasn't an extra concert and played against those, but it was at a time where basically not normal summons. It wasn't like big was played, but it wasn't like popular. But I think that this card's such a versatile card. You can bounce your opponent's cards, you can bounce your own cards. I'm a big fan of this card. I played a lot in toss format, even that.
Yo,
It was super cool because like bounce an extra deck monster that your opponent had to get extra value. Or you can bounce a normal summon for tempo, bounce your multi attack and then trigger it. Like you super versatile card that when they were like out, most was just super versatile and just ended up being better than a card that bounced you for pure versatility.
I totally agree. I like this card a lot. I mean, I would say probably I'd put it at because it's not good right now, but it just became incredible when the extra deck started mattering and has had application option lab play. I mean, for a long time, and I mean that's fine. That's a great place, especially for a card this old.
I think that's the most. I looked at Compulse is like the fact that it's somewhat kept its relevance for almost double digits. I think it's right. So yeah, somewhat good.
As
Right, Joseph.
Let's Tapo. So you can just the top one. I don't know. What do you want me to say? This card is just.
well,
Why is there a
let's think
spider
about
here?
when this card was rise, whatever. Why do you think this card got? I'm trying to think back that was during COVID.
Not hostile since
So,
daytime at
What
least.
year was
I
it?
mean, a card that from first reveal, most obviously everyone was fucking crazy, and unfortunately has just been fucking crazy the entire time. Yeah, some way, in some shape or scenarios in which it wasn't crazy, top deck was so railroaded in a specific type of summoning, synchro or something, a canine for instance, that type of like we block it as possible, that it can't actually access this. or there was an attribute lock. Like, a lot of the early Link spam decks would dark lock you, why she doesn't feature in a lot of decks that otherwise she would.
I defend Apple.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna defend two design aspects. I want to make it hard to see power. It probably should, but I want to give them a little bit credit for two design parts of this card. First off, my idea, just like Light and Darkness Dragon, of making the card as you so it's easy to run over. A nice idea, and in sometimes practice, times when it's at 24. Once and then come on a 600 to beat over it. I think that is
diamond.
cool. When obviously when you active by further when it's IP, you can't do that. Second, the fact that it's once per. I just wanted to say that I think it's not badly designed.
There are most aspects to it, and main thing is, I suppose, one of the main factors of it. There's nothing more satisfying than gaining to Apple to resolve a card effect you want.
Yeah.
The fact that it has to reduce act is also pretty relevant because if it's healed, it also lets you effect like the gold sugar of worlds or like really good against Apple.
Yeah, I forgot about those.
So yeah, you are right about that. But ultimately, I cannot see a world where this out the game.
Good thing it's banned in every format, right, guys?
Every format of you, there is
One of us could
game.
play a format where it's banned.
Not Genesis, actually. Not on the list. I don't see either. I'll pick Upstart Goblin. Very interesting. So, Upstart Goblin at the start of the game was never really as a good card because it gave your opponent life points. Idea was life points were very much an opponent. They were to be very beginning parts of your very good. After playing plus turns, your life points matter for
These are just vanillas, but I mean,
like those are multiple turns
tools are tools.
That Upstart is kind of just giving almost like extra turns.
Well, I don't know if it. Yes, but also I think the Upstart thing, like, why cut option from your deck? Like, the life points matter more, but I think a lot of it was like wanted to play cards, and Upstart does the number of options. Yeah. Oh, why not back a little bit more consistent? It's going to go 10 turns.
I should upgrade my.
A lot of those old were playing Upstart, like they just wanted to play cards that did.
And over time, like 10 years later, this must be mentioned, Patrick Hope sort of like up with this framework of your decks have a lot of kind of fluff cards in. Once you put together your deck in like 2014, you're sort of arriving at like cards and you're just like, I don't really want to play anything else here. And so reducing deck artificially with Upstart down to 37 was a way to make your deck more consistent. And yet, over time, that concept makes sense, but as cards get more powerful bridges become more easily linked to one another, Upstart Goblin has sort of turned into the third aspect of either you want good synergy with spells, like Striker, or kind of rather it a hand trap, right?
Upstart was played at a time when the decks didn't have enough good cards to add in. There's literally weren't enough, like, starters. You just out on your starters. Like, that's all you. So, by playing Upstart, you would odds of cards in your deck, but you just put only cards in. I mean, that's like an oversimplification. Like, if every card in your deck gets you a combo, you don't need it. We're bringing it back to, I feel like it around what I was saying with early 2000s, where on the option.
I also want to say, Upstart is a flexible card. That's in which it's very played. Like, obviously, find your good cards, right? But also, execute like a mainline combo, Upstart will almost always find you a power trap, right? Yeah. Like, it either finds you starter, which you absolutely, or after you execute your setup, it will find you insulated from an opponent's card. So, like, that's a lot of, like, the card's really good, obviously. But I think, unfortunately, Farfa's spot on the money. Like, in a game where you're opening no game determinative, rather it just be a hand trap, also introduce annoying situations where you accidentally lose. It's, like, it's just not great.
Someone says Upstart turns on gold price. I'm not gonna.
You wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Right, Doug, pick a card.
let's talk about this card a lot in the past, but I'm always happy to talk
The
about
theory
Product
around it
Duality.
has
Product
changed.
Duality is a card that on
But yeah,
release
I
was
guess if we're
$6,000.
just talking about usability.
Whatever you could afford.
It's actually very similar to the card next to it that we'll talk about in a moment, Pot of Desires. We're talking about pot cards that they at $60 every deck. If like I've talked about this in the past, I'm sure you guys have experienced in the past. There was a long time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where if a deck just had a search that was considered, looking worth looking. The fact that Stratos, not that just that Stratos was a good card, is that Stratos was one of the only searchers for a long time can search all sorts of different. Not a duality, all these different decks can do. And yeah, no special summons, but back to talking on Max earlier. So just wait. Your opponent wasn't going. You know how many times a little bit past Edison, but in Edison format where you just pass turn one, set a monster, pass or do nothing. So your opponent very low G. Not a duality.
I remember very when I first started playing, I tried to build like a Cyber Dragon deck, combo deck, and I was format was open up and find your combo place and try and pop off.
Yeah.
But over time, I mean, you'll just never see it. Like that's no way.
Yeah, we'll probably never see the card ever in like a regular deck again.
Where do you put it, Joseph?
I don't think it's that sad. It means it's more specific rather than something that could be included in every deck. That's a good thing, right? That's why archetypes exist, so that you have choices. Obviously, it's still really streamlined.
One that does special. When's the last time a deck that does special?
Oh, you're playing a Gladiator Beast card. You may as well play everything else named Gladiator Beast while you're at it.
That's not from all. Doesn't start towards sucks. Not good at all.
This was I think 2012 and it lasted all the way up until 11, right? Barely. Wait,
I think 2009.
I think 2009.
It's like Hermel in 2004.
I recall seeing, but this last a decent amount of time. I think some Dragon Builder list had it. First is Purpose art, but the problem is like the battle phase somewhat relevant, or you just so much in the main. Right?
Well, I don't necessarily think that's true. Funny part about sports is I just think it's threat. Like, I think you want to prevent your opponent from killing you in the sun, there are better options to do it, and like the screw kind of version of that.
Cardboard. That's crazy. Summons a guy in crazy. Like, how's this? Wait, hold on, you're cooking this. I never really thought about that. No, like,
First level and
back and forth. I mean, we talked about now here, around that time as well, where like summoning the level 6 monsters are pretty cool. How about summoning big ass level 7 monsters?
yeah, it was
You
broken.
know how many? Like, this card's a huge medicine. Like, also, that played during this time period, all still attack around Goldberg. Never gonna happen.
I attack around Gorse because it just makes sense to attack from lowest to highest.
Not anywhere, yeah.
Fortunately,
Before I knew Gorse existed.
Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is a weird one because it was limited to one, I think, as one of the longest lasting limitations. Like Alpha, BLS, it was on the list for so long as just one copy or even banned for a while.
Is it still in one?
It is still at one, yeah. I need to start to be at 3.
Would anyone play? But yeah, the reason they don't put it in because it's iconic.
Yeah. Okay, but, okay, sure. Normally I would agree, for a time period I would agree, but now we have like Forget, Dark Hole, like, that kind of shit.
That's different.
So,
That's different. No, that's different. So it's like unlimited going. So
logic is that, okay, fair. Here to analyze, but I'm pretty sure Tommy interprets like something as like one-off, right? And like, might not be for power reasons, just that there's a one-off or in a deck. theoretically. But now there's like, which is like quick play spell version.
Quick play spell monster reborn is actually really good too.
Obviously, it has drawbacks or whatever. Like Reborn would not be played.
For many years from its start, I want to say until did it ever get banned? What was that one?
Yeah, it was banned in 2013.
Banned in 20? That's so. I mean,
It was banned on
absolutely.
Hybrid.
Like it was like a huge fucking problem in a lot of retro formats. It's like, oh,
Worst feeling in the world. Your opponent draws a card and then can I check your
oh, dude, the fact that it comes from a point quite unique. So that's also
it is. Can I say this though? Monster Reborn, right? Like the one of that does something crazy that goes all about comebacks. I think Monster Reborn is like one of the that makes sense.
oh yeah, for sure. You have like iconic cards. This is up there with like Vice and stuff. It might be the most iconic spell in the entire game.
Second Apodic.
Yeah. It lasted really long. I don't know. You could say it aged very well in some sense, but obviously, like 2018 onwards, you would never play deck. It's
Dragon Link has played it for a period of time. I definitely started that deck.
I definitely played it in Stupid Master Duel, bringing a zoo back to me. But other than that, I mean,
Just don't play cards that take setup.
Let's throw it in man.
Let's put it in.
Doug, I think. I have too many.
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting. Talk about Solemn Judgment. I think Judgment's had a really not being played, not being played,
and then being limited.
I remember when this card came back. Pause. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I was so interesting. I thought it was fucking crazy at that event, but also a lot of situations, Strike was just the better card because Fireman, monster effects are happening in the grade where on the field you don't take a normal summon to get like. I mean, it was very good, but it wasn't like a staple any decks besides trap deck. But I found it interesting getting back into around the time that Judgment is now limited again. I find it interesting. A lot of times it's
look at that. It's really cool. An arch. Naturally generated.
I think it's
Why-ho!
Probably make an argument. Absolutely best card on this list. Like more than Ash. Like Ash started crazy, right? Supported against True Draco as otherwise play card for lifetime. Solid Judgment, again, Doug said, a card that wasn't historically played. And now, with the understanding we have, there is a deck functionally able by this card specifically. But, going back and forth, playable to not playable, that toss format is really, like you said,
a
the
fishing
meta
rod.
matters so much for it. Strike was the better Judgment for a long time because
What the hell am I supposed to do with Soggy Flash?
That I think Judgment was so powerful in the modern age. Post board, obviously you go first, you guarantee you'll be able to stop an opponent's summon that could be like mission critical, but also the mechanism by which the first player can be the powerful for going second player, right? Like match and stuff like that. That's sort of way that it's super important. It's like I think are probably better than anything else on this list. And it's cool that it's at one. I think like post really well. I just hope they don't draw Judgment. But yeah, love this card. I think it's super interesting.
Really curious why it wasn't like very recent where Judgment was like a in the side deck for going first. Some decks obviously felt like it wasn't like you wouldn't have like combo decks putting in Judgment first.
Well, because it's not like a start, but decks have gotten more. That's like, you're gonna combo.
Well, and this deck is playing going second, right? Because it was in 2017. Set up your first corrupted, you have 60, have 5 cards in hand. But Now decks, your deck can play half the game, right? You make up the difference with a lightning storm. Made cards that interact with those cards more valuable. And a lot of those cards are like, you can activate a monster. Metal Tronuses, Dark Ruler No Mores, and that's where Solemn Judgment shines. I mean, this card fucking rocks. I love it. I think it's a.
Alright, Doug, you want a deal break or do you want a judgment?
Yeah, you can put it up at this top. I think it's alright. I think counter trap is cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's iconic trap. Probably not up there with Force, like definitely top 5 known trap cards. And I'm always happy to see a card that was released, 20 more than 20 years. But it's cool when they see.
Let me run through Desires really quick. For a lot of similar reasons to of the other draw cards, it's very unique that it sacrificed a quarter of your deck to draw cards, and it really asked the question, what would Go players sacrifice draw to? Unironically, a quarter of their deck. And it's ridiculous. Much every deck up until I want to say maybe like 2017, where started realizing that you're not going to need 10 cards from your deck because it lasts that long in the first place. Crazy concept, but that was relevant from until I want to say it was the release of Wrap here that really sort of this card.
I think it might have been the release card that's on this called Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
It's the players in the Ash format, right?
But I'm saying, like, you played Design later.
Yeah, they did.
Wrap here wasn't even a problem. I think it's like a problem when you like Orcus format and it's like skeleton. I don't know. I think it's one of the best.
I don't think that's. I think when Wrap here was at 3. But I think that Desires, at least over time, became significantly worse because the engine requirements of decks just skyrocketed, right? You don't just have like one guy in your deck anymore, you have like multiple parts of your deck that you don't want to manage. And
you don't want to be less sad, all these different.
Well, I do want to. I think the thing that made Desires less playable in the modern era, the reason it had like a gap of unplayability, is it conflicted with Prosperity. Like, Prosperity was just a better card in 99% of decks, and so locks you out of drawing, so why would you play Desires? So once Prosperity got limited, people then reevaluated it, like, do I want to be playing Desires or not? And some people, like Rydiel, were like, yes I do, but a lot of people were like, no, yes. I mean, the card's still really good. I want to be clear, it's still quite strong. You should be considering it when you're building a deck.
I think it's really good. I think too many decks, like, they have way more engine than like to sacrifice. Obviously, never played this like in something that has multiple. I don't know. For that reason, has it aged well?
I would say it's aged well. I think this card's really good. I really think Design is one of the well-designed cards.
Who wants to take Bagusta?
This card is fucking annoying. No, I guess you could say this is aged really well because it's now really irritating. Baguska,
After Link?
What a good question. I think it was after, but that can't be right. 2017? Looking it up. Yeah, Circuit Break, same set.
Oh, so Link summoning and Bagusta at the same time.
Oh, it was meant to push Link. That's funny.
Circuit Break was like the second set, but yeah, Link, it was start of. It's kind of like how Dimensional right before. I mean, not right. Pretty close.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about this card. It's like, the way that it works is you are able to integrate it into a card that can make a rank 4 in such a way that it prevents your opponent from playing but doesn't prevent you. And any deck that has the capacity to make or can, I mean, we called it Plan B for a reason, to sit on this guy for a couple of turns, might not have like an Infirm or some sort of targeted engagement or Pokemon or something ridiculous. So on one hand, it's like, well, still played. Like, I mean, the Ryziel setup that was done at Worlds this year, Master Duel, carried this into their end board. But in another case, it's not H. That's always what it did. It's never done anything different. There was not a situation like, oh, Bagusta. And it was always doing the same fucking thing.
It's always summon it and skip the opponent's
slow
turn,
the game down to a crawl.
switch it to attack, make
Yeah, awesome, dude. Really fucking fun.
time.
Well, it was here. And it was like, yeah, you would build it as part of your end board in a Link deck that did not give a shit. You're like, and now, what's my skill drain? I don't like this card at all.
When it stopped being played. problem.
Never defend floodgate. There is a floodgate I would ever defend. I feel like one of the less egregious examples that there were ways.
Can't wait.
Yeah, right, but I think that's fine, right? To some extent, in some games, where if it's plan B, right, where like you kind of crack your opponent's boards, can't really get through. So like, okay, where's the good? Let me try get to next turn, right? So very specific like that, I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, for the most part, it has just been an auxiliary like link format and board, right? So that's. Where would it go? Very well.
Put it in meh.
Is this thing, by the way?
Just got
Or
banned
no,
in
it's
Master. Hey,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, okay.
So in Master Duel, what they were doing is, no, what the Rise deck would do is go.
No, I know. I saw it was making the photon guy.
Hey, who wants to do Reckless?
There it is. It's reckless.
It's fucking awful. Bad. One of the worst, like probably the worst card on this list. Worse than Gold.
There was definitely some
Those two.
there was definitely some classics I made. And
I think one card like SP like I think that's I remember first seeing that and a lot of people reacted to say, oh, this is like bad for the game. Eric, it's good. And I kind of thought that too. But no, I think SP is a super well designed card. Like the restrictions are nice. I think dodging effect is like around it. I think SP is a card that actually ended up being a lot better designed than I thought it was.
you know, it's very funny you mentioned that. I do really like that SP. Right, it's like lower than both like summons and features.
Same thing I was saying with Appaloosa. A perfect one.
Many of the cards that we looked at today are like really irritating. Plan B is like, ooh, or like, oh, I'll make my board that got stopped into an Apple or whatever. SP is one of the Plan Bs where I'm like, no, that's fair. Like this loses a lot. It doesn't affect the board for a meaningful way, but it's enough of a house that you do have to worry about it. Like I like that card a lot. I think
Yeah, you have complete misdevelopment history. For those who are 40 years old, I can maybe comment as such. Let us know if there's anything or some terms combos energy perhaps didn't talk about, and what your thoughts. Thanks, what do you mean?
The transfer must commence. I can make an enchanting stick. Click.
about how good we are game. Cards with their power mechanics. Magic, deck, anime. Cards like animated, larger cards get out. Common card game. Try and high value out of it. After 5 cost, I'm gonna fair and fair version. Talk about cards like unfair version. Cards like animate one. Cards like pound. Card and graveyard. Magic has its fair share of powerful